All right, if you're even remotely interested in the biotech space, then I know you've heard of Invivyd, IVVD, ticker symbol IVVD.
Oh, yeah, they're kind of hard to miss, right? Especially with how their stock's been bouncing around.
It's been pretty wild, hasn't it? That's actually what we're diving into today.
A deep dive, you could say.
That's right, a deep dive. We've got this SOC analysis report hot off the press, dated March 11th, 2025. Really digging into IVVD.
All the good stuff. Company background, their financials, what the analysts are saying, even some recent news.
And trust me, there's been a lot happening with Invivyd. I mean, their 52-week range is just crazy. We're talking a low of 35.5 cents all the way up to $4.73.
Yeah, that's quite a roller coaster. Not for the faint of heart, let's just say.
So before we get into this wild ride, maybe we should start with the basics. What exactly does Invivyd do?
Well, at their core, they're developing antibody therapies, and their main focus, that would be infectious diseases, particularly COVID-19.
So they're kind of like going after the virus with these targeted treatments instead of just relying on traditional vaccines.
Exactly. They're not just about preventing infection, they're also looking at how to treat people who are already sick or who are at a higher risk.
And their main product, that's PEMGARDA, right? It's already being used to prevent COVID-19 infections, especially for folks who might not respond well to vaccines, like people with compromised immune systems.
You got it. That's what we call pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's already on the market and helping a lot of people.
So that's a pretty big deal. But I'm seeing here that they recently tried to get FDA approval to expand PEMGARDA's use. They wanted to use it to treat mild to moderate COVID-19 in immunocompromised patients.
They did, and unfortunately the FDA said no. That sent the stock tumbling, as you can imagine, down about 45% since the beginning of February.
Wow, so it's trading below 80 cents now. I guess that's why some investors are getting a little, well, a little spooked.
I can understand why. But it is important to remember that the FDA's decision was very specific. It only related to that expanded use for treatment. PEMGARDA can still be used for prevention.
Okay, so that's a little bit of good news at least. But I'm curious, how much of Invivyd's future hinges on getting that expanded authorization for PEMGARDA? I mean, they're also working on this other product, VYD 2311, right?
Absolutely. And VYD 2311, it's a whole different ballgame. This one's being looked at as a potential alternative to vaccination altogether.
Ooh, that's interesting. So instead of just preventing or treating COVID, it could actually replace vaccines.
Potentially, yes. It targets the virus in a different way than existing vaccines do, which means it could offer broader protection, especially as new variants pop up.
Okay, so even though they hit this bump in the road with the FDA, they've still got this potential game changer in the works.
That's right. But of course, VYD 2311 is still in preclinical development. A lot can happen between now and when it actually hits the